and welcome back, or at least I hope this is a welcome back. This is the 7th in our summer series that we've been doing this summertime. We started back in July, and week by week, we've been going through a lot of the content that was released during convention this past July, and learning new things, learning about new products, learning about new innovative scientific ways of distilling oils, all kinds of really fun stuff. So I hope that this is a welcome back for you. And if you have missed those, or this is your first time joining us for a call, I do hope that you will avail yourself to watch some of the replays. I have recorded and posted all of those calls on my YouTube channel and in a playlist called Summer Series 23. So I think you'll enjoy it. You can start at the beginning and just watch them, catch up on some of the things that you might have missed out on. Tonight, we have a kind of a different message, a different kind of speech that was delivered at convention that I just found so inspiring. It's not particularly product based. Tonight, we don't have one specific wellness or health focus that we're going to be diving into. Instead, we're going to be hearing from Ben Riley, the president of Young Living. He is just such a great guy. You'll really get to know his heart as he speaks tonight. Just so you know, we're going to be listening to a portion of his speech, and then I'm going to stop for a moment and kind of skip over some of the stuff that I didn't think was pertinent for all of us to listen into. He's like introducing different staff members and telling them thank you for different contributions that they've made to Young Living over the last year. And just for the sake of keeping things short and sweet and to the point, I'm going to edit that part out and we'll skip ahead. He has a really inspiring message. I know I was challenged when I watched it the first time around. In fact, I watched it a second time, and then I was like, okay, this needs to be shared. So tonight we're going to be listening in again, Ben Riley, and he is the president of Young Living. He may refer to Mary Young. I don't remember exactly if he does that in this part of his speech, but Mary Young, if you're not aware, is actually one of the founders of the company. So she is the wife of Gary Young, who was the founder of Young Living and who has since passed away. And she has picked up that vision. Well, she really was always running with it to begin with. It's not even like the torch was passed to her. She was running with the vision of this company since the get-go. So Young Living is almost 30 years old, a long-standing, reputable company. I think I just learned that it was voted just this month, I believe it was, as one of the top recession-proof companies in America, which is incredible. I think it was number 14 on the list, if I'm not mistaken. You may have to fact check me on that, but it's definitely one of the recession-proof companies that was named. I think it was Direct Seller News where I read that report. So fantastic, just kind of recommendation of the company itself. And so we're going to be diving in. I'm going to share my screen with you. As always, at the end of the call, there will be an opportunity for us to talk live. I'll stick around if you have questions, if you have, anything on, it doesn't even have to be related to tonight's call. If you have anything you want to talk about after we end and wrap up, then we will have the opportunity to do that kind of one-on-one here in a live interactive way. So for now, let me get to sharing my screen. And let's hear from Ben.
So we're going to continue today, obviously, with more jam-packed goodness. We launched a lot yesterday. There's a lot coming today as well, and we're so excited to be sharing this with you today. So we talked about yesterday largely our game-changing natural products and solutions for families, didn't we? Today, we're going to talk about how Young Living is changing the game in the space of personal empowerment and our opportunity. And it's common knowledge, we have the best products in the world, don't we? Common knowledge, we all know this. Perhaps a little bit less commonly known that we also have the best opportunity in the world as well. Gary and Mary have been incredibly generous in giving back and giving to you when you go out and share our mission. And in the past, we've been a little bit reticent to talk about our empowerment opportunities we provide through our incredible compensation plan. And you know what, that's okay. Because our core and our mission has always been getting oils in homes. As Mary is so good to remind us all the time, she says, we don't chase the dollar, do we, Mary? We don't chase the dollar. And you know why we don't have to chase the dollar? And Mary knows this. She knows this from her experience, because when we live abundantly, organically share our oils and our incredible products in the business, the dollar chases us. That's how it works. We don't have to worry about that side of it. It takes care of itself. So when our oils and business are easy to share, our business, guess what? It's easy to build. It's the hallmark of our success has been easy to share, easy to build. And today, we're going to be sharing with you a lot of things which are designed to make your life and your business better and easier. So today we're talking shop, and I'm so excited about it. Yes, this is the crew that we're going to do it with. So before we jump into that, let's first talk about the state of the world. I've got a few survey questions. I want your participation, and you tell me what you think the answers are for each of these questions. So first of all, in all low-income countries across the world today, how many girls do you think finish primary school? Raise your hand if you think it's 20%. This is low-income countries. 20%. Okay, 40%? Who thinks 60%? Prasad is the only person who thinks 60%. It actually, Prasad's right for once. He's right for once. It's 60%. That's impressive, isn't it? That's a lot of progress. I think that's something we can celebrate as humanity. Okay, how about in the last 20 years? Yeah, that's worth applauding. How about this one? In the last 20 years, the proportion of the world population living in extreme poverty has almost doubled. Who thinks it's almost doubled? Okay, some of you. Say it about the same. Are we kind of just treading water right now? Almost halved? Who thinks we've done really well in the last 20 years and it's almost halved? In fact, it's almost halved. In the last 20 years. That's worth applause, isn't it? That's solving world hunger. That's saving lives. That's a big deal for us. Okay, next question. How did the number of deaths per year from natural disasters change in the last 100 years? Natural disasters, they're on the rise, right? Wildfires, earthquakes, tsunamis, the Astros won the World Series, like all kinds of natural disasters. I'm kidding, Astros fans. I'm kidding. I know we have some Houstonians in the audience. I'm kidding. So what do you think? Have fatalities more than doubled? Remained about the same? Who thinks they've decreased to less than half in the last 100 years? You're catching on. Less than half. Again, good news is that even though we have these natural disasters, we can't control that, but we're getting better at saving people and making sure that people are looked after and taken care of. Okay, next question. Worldwide, 30-year-old men have spent 10 years in school on average. How many years have women of the same age spent in school? Who thinks 9 years? Okay, 6 years? 3 years. It's 9 years. Ladies are catching, and in the United States, overtaking men when it comes to education, especially college education. We're making significant strides in this area. All right, last question. In 1996, tigers, giant pandas, and black rhinos were all listed as endangered. How many of them do you believe are more critically endangered today than they were in 1996, almost 30 years ago? Who thinks 2 of them? 1 of them? How about none of them? All right, you're catching on. None of them. They have all improved in their populations, and their sustainability is more assured today than it was almost 30 years ago. So why do I mention all of these facts? I know there's definitely areas where the world has seen declines. And when we look at media, it's easy to believe that's the case. However, doesn't it seem like when you see these statistics that things are getting better? Maybe it's not all doom and gloom after all. Maybe we don't have to assume the worst. And in fact, our world is safer, more prosperous, and healthier today than ever in the history of humanity. It seems to me what we need more than anything today is a healthy dose of hope. Isn't it? It's not that bad. We're doing good things. The world is getting better, and we're making a difference. Our generation, our people. So if you're missing a bit of hope, guess what? We have an oil for that. Don't we? We have an oil for that. Hope. Last year when we were together, I talked a lot about belief. And this, of course, belief has been my favorite essential oil blend this past year, and I've loved focusing on the power of belief. Belief is so important. I think you know this. We've talked a lot about it, because until you believe and see something in your mind, you aren't able to manifest it in your life. Gary was so good at vision casting where we were going. He put the belief in all of us so that we could then go and chase it. It has to be here first before it becomes real. I do have a big announcement today. I think I have a new favorite oil. I think hope might be my new favorite oil. And I'm going to talk about why. Look, the original Valor that we launched yesterday is also my favorite. It's nice they go well together. Hope and Valor are perfect pairing. And that's right. And you know what else? I also love Highest Potential and Thieves and RC and Three Wise. Okay, I love all of our oils. Let's be honest. We love all of our oils, but today I'm loving Hope. So what's in the Hope blend? There are some of our favorites. First of all, Melissa. I used to love hearing Gary talk about Melissa. I think Melissa was one he absolutely loved. And he loved it because it was high maintenance. And it really made you earn it. Right? We pulled up the 2017 Beauty School transcript where he talked about that. By the way, Beauty School is now the Young Living Experience. And it's incredible. Our next one is Highland Flats Farm. We're glamping August 23rd to 26th. Check it out. They're doing all kinds of cool things. They're going to be at the Finca Botanica in November. So if you want to have an adventure, we're doing these retreats and our team do an amazing job. So make sure to check that out. Anyway, this is how Gary described Melissa. He says, Melissa cannot touch the dirt. And that's why we did it this way, dragging tarps under the swather so Melissa didn't touch the earth. Melissa is the most feminine plant in the aromatic kingdom. She does not like getting dirty, and she doesn't like people coming in the field before she's ready. She likes to be shiny and pristine when the workers come into the field. So with Melissa, you must care for her. She's a true Melissa. And Melissa is worth it. It's one of the most labor-intensive oils that we have. It's also one of the most precious, and it's in Hope. You know what else is in our Hope blend? Juniper. Juniper, as you all know, is great for mindfulness and awareness. Another thing I love about juniper is it's an incredible representation how we not only produce and wildcraft juniper at our Mount Nebo farm that you visited on Wednesday, but we're also doing so in a way that's sustainable and actually beneficial to our local flora and fauna in partnership with the state of Utah. We do this everywhere we go. Every oil we source, we make the land better, we make the world better through the sourcing of that oil. It's an incredible win-win, and I'm so proud of what we do in this area. Okay, next up we have myrrh. Who's heard of myrrh? Incredible grounding oil. Also, gave it to the baby Jesus. That's kind of a big deal, right? If you're paired, if you're in the same family as gold and frankincense, you know you're in good company. This is one of the most treasured gifts that the three wise men brought the baby Jesus. That's an endorsement if I've ever heard one. And last but not least, the Northern Lights Black Spruce. Yes, this is one I can tell we all really love. And what an incredible connection we have to Northern Lights Black Spruce. It's really powerful in overcoming emotional blocks. Are the Howdens here, Ben and Carol Howden? Where are the Howdens? There they are. Come on, let's have them stand up. So Ben and Carol Howden have had a powerful role in making sure that we have sustainable sourcing of our black spruce essential oil. These lovely people they toiled along with others of you, alongside Gary, in the dead of winter in Fort Nelson, which is not warm, regularly below zero or 20 degrees below zero or below Celsius. It's very, very cold in Fort Nelson in the winter. And they did this because this oil is so vitally important to us. And so many blends, including Valor and, of course, Hope. So what is hope? Hope is the feeling of optimistic expectation. And in life, we know intentions matter. In the book of Proverbs 23:7, it says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." Gary would remind us this. Gary said, one of the most powerful things that we can do as human beings is to learn how to take charge of our emotions and our feelings and how to direct them in a more positive and prosperous direction to achieve our full potential. Hope is incredibly important in the Christian faith. In the Bible, it says, "Yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." I love it talks about they are new every morning. You can renew your hope every single morning. And you know what? The Christian tradition is not the only one which values hope. A Jewish proverb says, "Hope for a miracle, but don't rely on it. If things are not as you wish them as they are." Wisdom. How about in the Quran? The Quran 3:139 says, "Do not lose hope nor be sad." Buddhists likewise feel hope is important. Renowned Buddhist philosopher Daisaku Ikeda says, as long as one has hope, there is nothing one cannot achieve. Everything is born from hope. And the Buddha himself said, hope is the one thing that is stronger than fear. The ancients understood the importance of hope. Aristotle said, hope is a waking dream. And we'll talk a little bit more about the relationship of hope and dreaming here in just a moment, because it's completely linked. And last but not, well, actually I have two more. Zig Ziglar said, you can always count on Zig for a good quote. He says, you can make positive deposits in your own economy every day by reading and listening to powerful, positive, life-changing content, and by associating with encouraging and hope-building people. You can build hope. In fact, hope is not inactive. It's a very active thing, and you can actively build it in your life. And last but not least, you may have heard of this gentleman. His name is D. Gary Young. Yes, Gary's got a treasure trove. In fact, Mary shared it with me. Thank you, Mary. Of all of the things that Gary talked about with hope and emotions, it's powerful. Gary said, hope is very empowering to both mind and body. There are many things that we can live without, but without hope, the soul will perish and life will become meaningless or cease to exist. Life will become meaningless or cease to exist. Gary taught as much about emotions as he did about anything, because he knew that emotions had such a profound impact on our physical, emotional, and spiritual health. As you can see, hope is incredibly important to us, to humanity. And to me, life is all about hope. Hope is the belief that there are still lessons to learn, people to love, life to experience, and adventures ahead, that our best days are still in front of us. And I don't think life is worth living a single day without it. Hope does not mean that we won't have trials, hardships, or failures and bad days. That's a part of life. It's the hope, though, that pulls us through those things. Let me talk about the hope that I have for Young Living specifically, and the hope that pulls me and leads me forward. Specifically, I have hope that the world needs us and Young Living in our mission more than ever. Let me share a few things that I think will help you see what I see. Did you know that more and more people are creatively looking for making ends meet through side hustles? If you look at the statistics, in 2023, this year, 44% of Americans have a side hustle. Almost half of us have a side hustle. And I wasn't able to find statistics for the entire region, because I know we're representing all of the Americas, but I think it's safe to assume that our world is the same. There's an increased interest in making additional income worldwide, and also providing for our families in ways that are more on our terms. This number has continued to increase. It's ever going up. It's up 13% since 2020. And these side hustles are increasingly necessary to simply make ends meet. 43% of Americans say they need the money just to get by. So why does this give me hope? You know why this gives me hope? We have the best personal empowerment vehicle in the world today. Why do I say that? Our products engender loyalty. They are incredibly sticky. And I'll talk about that in a second. The startup investment is modest. You can start our business easily for $100 USD. And it can scale to a full-time income depending on, of course, a variety of factors. We have an incredible solution for these people. Today, we'll share some additional tools that are going to make it easier than ever to share our business opportunity and help people start Young Living as a side hustle. Additionally, we'll be doing work in the second half of this year to begin to pay some bonuses and incentives faster. We need to do this to compete in the gig economy, and we're doing that work right now. Yeah. Melissa Bishop, shout out, our CFO. She's done amazing work in getting our new commissions engine up so that we can start doing this work to pay you faster. That's the first step. And we don't give her a lot of credit, but she deserves it. She and the team, our IT organization, lots of people in our business are working really hard to bring this, because it's important for you and for your business. This is what's happening in our world. And look, we started the modern essential oil movement, didn't we? And despite there being widespread recognition, in 1998, I never would have imagined that I could buy essential oils at my grocery store. And there they are, right? They're not the same, but they're there. People know about essential oils because of us, because of you. But we're still scratching the surface. Essential oils are expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 11% through the end of this decade. That's more than 3 times the rate of the US economy. Being in the business of sharing oils is still a high growth opportunity. We are not even close, right? So if you're like, oh, my market's saturated, no, it's not. not even close. And we have the numbers to show you it's going to continue to grow. Continues to be our biggest opportunity as a business. And I don't often do this because Gary and Mary don't like to brag, right, about our accomplishments. Gary always said, look at the families and the foundation to see what we do. However, I think these numbers are helpful in illustrating how we're achieving our mission of empowering wellness, purpose, and abundance in communities around the world. And seeing this progress, knowing these numbers, gives me so much hope for our future. So this one's really exciting. You remember how I mentioned that our products are really sticky? Meaning once you have essential oils, Young Living essential oils and products in your homes, it's really difficult to go back to life without it. Well, this is shown here in our numbers. The percentage of people who join on essential rewards or loyalty rewards have increased from 23 to 47% in the last year. The last year. That's retention. That is retention, and that's the most powerful lever we have to pull in our business. In the United States, we're actually at 55%. That's doubled in the last year. That's amazing. Good work, us. Good work, you. And the percentage of our orders which are placed through our loyalty program have increased from 55% to over 70% in the last 4 years. Last year alone, we had 113,000 customers that ordered Ningxia Red or Ningxia product for the first time. And Ningxia is a great retention product. Nearly 150,000 of you donated to the Young Living Foundation, the D. Gary Young Living Foundation, where all proceeds go to benefit our academy and the many causes we support. And even more this year because you're saving my hair. Thank you. Thank you. This year, we're going to ship, guess how many? Over 75 million bottles of essential oils. 75 million bottles. That's 400 tons of oils that are going into homes, and you're putting them there. And the people, guess what? They're really happy. They're really happy with the products you share with them. We have a more than 90% retention rate on our auto-ship programs, and that's the highest rate in our industry. The products work really hard for us, and you're working really hard getting them to people. They do the work. In 2023, we will have over 2 million homes which use and love Young Living. And every single one of those homes we're in because of you. We send over 1 million packages every single month. Every single month. There we go. And that amounts to an average of 33,000 orders per day. Why do you think our third-party fulfillment gave Prasad $15,000? We're getting him a lot of business. Right? We are growing and we're expanding through these partners and making sure that we're getting oils to homes at a rate of over 1 million shipments a month, which is incredible. In the Americas region alone, we send out about 130,000 checks to brand partners just in the Americas region. This is powerful because Mary says money in the hands of good people does great things, right? We're getting it in your hands and you're doing great things with it. And since 2003, Young Living has issued over 27 million checks. I fell out of my chair when I saw it. 27 million? That's incredible. That's bigger than most states, right? The population of most states. And if you accumulate all of those checks, we've paid out $6.3 billion in commissions. That's just since 2003. $6.3 billion in commissions. That's approximately the size of the Belize economy, to give you some reference. It's a pretty big deal, right? And that's the abundance that we've created through this business. Next year, we're going to be celebrating our 30th year. Why is this impressive? Because 92% of new businesses fail in their first year. And among direct sales companies, only 2% are still doing business after 6 years. And here we are knocking on the door of 30. %98 failed before their first 6 years. It's crazy. So we're just getting started. A few reasons for hope that we shared just yesterday. We talked about these things. Doesn't having the OG Valor back give you hope? Seeing how we sustainably source rosewood, giving you the hope that we're going to continue to find ways to give you the world's most treasured, best oils in the world. And we continue to lead the way through sustainable sourcing. You realize when you buy Valor, you're propagating and growing the population of rosewood in the world. You heard what he talked about, right? You're doing good in so many ways, and that's because of the way we do our sourcing. You can also be assured that not only do we give you the best oils, but we're always going to do it in the most ethically and sustainable way possible. How about the Ignite blend? Doesn't that give you hope that we'll continue to bring you the best essential oil blends? This one's exciting because it was a blend that Gary did in 1992. And you're getting it for the first time, unless you're in Asia Pacific, but you're getting it for the first time. How about the green omegas? They give me hope that we're still learning to harness the power of plants to give you the best oil-infused supplements in the world. And with Deep Spectra, the opportunities are endless. I love green omegas. We talked about this. They have more EPA, more DHA than does even our beloved omega dries, which is amazing. And I also don't mind not having the fish burps. I've been using them for a couple of months. Feeling great. You're going to love them. Okay. Next one, Immu gummies. We know you're loving these, but it doesn't give you hope that you're going to have healthier families, healthier children. They're going to go fast. I've got my kids here. They're going to inhale these. But that's the point, right? We want our kids to be healthy and happy. We want our homes to be healthy and happy. And best of all, they're not covered in sugar. They don't have artificial stuff. You know, everything in there is good. Nothing but beta-glucans, elderberry, blueberry, carrot extracts, lime essential oil. You know, it's all on the label. It's all good. And they're good for adults too. The simplified products that we just launched yesterday that Kate and Jacob introduced. This shows that we're still getting into new demographics. Young people like this entry point. It's easy. It's beautiful. It's how we're going to get in. You can get in just for the smell of it. And they really, really work. Our simplified products are amazing. Another cause for hope. And my goodness, lastly, doesn't Deep Spectra technology instill you with hope? We're still learning and unlocking the profound potential which lies within the plant kingdom. We have brilliant chemists and scientists in our labs who are still in the true spirit of young living, doing groundbreaking research. No one else does what we do. No one else does what we do. And that's why we remain the world leader in essential oils. Deep Spectra technology is proof that we'll continue to expand our understanding of the power and application of essential oils. And I believe Deep Spectra is a powerful retort to anyone who might say, aren't all essential oils the same? Absolutely not, right? We're the only ones who can do this. And I've had other people say, well, are we going to get copied? They're going to try, probably. They're going to have a hard time. You know why? Because we distill. We do it from the seed to seal. We know what they don't know. Anyway, the barriers to entry are very difficult, and there are patents pending. We will continue to set ourselves apart through a competition, starting with seed all the way to that seal. And perhaps what gives me most hope for our future are all the good people. Young Living, our hallmark is this community. For a long time, I thought that the value that Gary and Mary created, the biggest value were actually the products, the oils, because you know how life-changing they are. I've actually reversed my thinking a little bit. I think the biggest, most powerful thing they've done is created this community. Because from this community comes all the good that we can bring into the world. We have incredibly smart, capable, talented people. And this is you as well as on our corporate side. Wow. We have so many causes for hope, don't we? And perhaps what gives me hope for the future beyond anything else are all of you. This convention fills my bucket in ways that nothing else does. And it gives me the hope because I see how incredible you are. Young Living is different. You might know this already, but what we have here is really special. And this started nearly 30 years ago with Gary and Mary, all the way up until today. We've been building a community of like-minded people who share the same values. And this doesn't just happen. This is 30 years of dedication and consistent mission-driven work. And that's who we are. We have different skin tones. We speak different languages. We come from different cultures. We believe in different faith traditions, and yet there are powerful ties that bind all of us together. Who are we? We're farmers and families. We're creators, distillers, and dreamers who harness the power of nature's living energy to enrich humanity. This is the work that we do. We had a meeting with our corporate leadership at the Mount Nebo farm a couple of weeks ago. And while we were there, we asked Mary to talk about why Young Living? Why do we exist? And she said something that really resonated with all of us. She said, Young Living exists because the world needs what we have. and it's our responsibility to take it to the world. That's why we exist. And you know what we have. Doesn't the world need it? You're the hands. You're the hands that get it into those homes and those families who really need it. It doesn't get there unless you place it there. And there's so many in need. And that meeting those needs starts with hope. So why do people lose hope? I think hope's been challenged in the last couple of years. I think it's because hope can be scary. Hope can lead to disappointment. Hope can be unfulfilled. I dare say hope can even hurt. However, what do we have if we don't have hope? What do we have in our lives? Hope can also open doors. Hope can bring joy. Hope can save lives. And hope is the precursor to dreaming. Hope elevates your energy and expands your vision to what's possible in your life. You have to have hope in order to dream. If you don't have hope, you can't have a dream. Do you understand that? How important that is? There's one thing I've learned at Young Living is that we were not born to play small. We were all born. We're here for a purpose. And our creators empowered us to live beautiful, purpose-driven lives. But we're the ones who have to make that happen. It doesn't get served up to you on a silver platter. You got to go out and make it. So if I can encourage you to do anything today, it's to cultivate and nurture hope in your life. And if you've been through a difficult season in your life or your business, it's okay. We don't get to choose our challenges. We do get to choose how we respond to them. And none of these challenges are insurmountable because I know that you and we are greater than any obstacle in our path. In our world, in our business, we have been through a season of hardship, haven't we? But I think we're better for it. As long as we don't lose that hope. When you share an oil with a family, that's hope. That's giving hope to a family, and that's expressing your hope for them and for this world. Add hope to your daily routine. Apply it to your feet, your wrists, your temples, your beard. And think about your hopes. Articulate your hopes. Hope that you will be better today than you were yesterday. Hope that your team will see your efforts and follow your example. Hope that you can recapture the magic that you have in your business. Hope that your best days are still ahead. Hope that your family will see your efforts and be inspired by your example. Hope that you can bless a family by getting these products in their homes and give them that empowerment. Hope that you can make your home, your community, and our world a better place through wellness, purpose, and abundance as you share our mission with people. We have to have this hope. This is where it starts. And it's proactive. It's something you can create in your lives. You have the power to have that hope. And it's not worth living a single day without it. Gary said, hope saves lives. It's time for us to save because there's less hope today than there's ever been. And we can be the carriers of that hope. And it's my hope for all of you to live this life that you were placed on this earth to live. It's my hope that we can change the world one family at a time. And it's my hope that our best days are ahead. Who are we? We actually have put together a video. It's a minute and a half. And it shows you, I think, in a really great way. This is going to be such a great thing to share with people who don't know us yet, to find out in a very quick order what we're all about. Thank you for all you do to ensure our mission lives in the lives of the families that we are in around the world. You are the best part of Young Living. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the video.
Oh, I love that video. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna stop the screen share. There is so much to love about what Ben shared in that speech. It was just so inspiring to me. It did have me pulling out my hope oil, beautiful blend. And I agree with him that so much of what the world throws at us through the news and just it seems like everywhere you look on social media, even just conversations with people, there's just a heavy mood of like it's never going to get better, everything's falling apart, the world is on fire. Literally, I mean, I understand that there are terrible things that are happening on a daily basis, but when we shift into that mindset of just, oh, everything that's always been is always going to be and there's no hope, it just gets to be very heavy and very weighty. And I love that the essential oil blend Hope actually works on the parts of your limbic system and your emotions that help you feel more open to being hopeful, and just help you to just kind of get out of that rut of thinking negatively and just being weighed down by things. So I love the Hope oil. I also love that video that they created and released at Young Living because it really touches on, for me, the pain points that I had and needed to be met when I first started with essential oils were for my family. So the kids, the children that they had portrayed in that video, showing how there are toxic chemicals in so many of our homes that we can actually swap out and make brighter choices, make cleaner choices. And it just takes that moment where you decide that you want to make a shift. And for me, that was when I was pregnant with my third child. And I knew there had to be a better way. I'm so thankful that Young Living came into my life when it did. And I was able to make that shift before my son was even born. So I did so many things so much more differently with him than I did with my daughters, just because when you know better, you do better. And Young Living was integral in helping me to make that shift and transition our home into a healthier place to be and to live. So to have products that were not filled with things that were going to mess with my kids' endocrine systems and get their hormones all out of whack. It wasn't going to cause skin issues, which is what we had been struggling with earlier in my parenting journey. That was a huge struggle for me. And Young Living came alongside with products that helped to resolve that issue. Clear skin, just really gave me what I needed to feel empowered as a mom. And I love that for the past 9 years, I've not only been able to reap these benefits for myself and my family, but for so many people around me. I've had the opportunity to introduce hundreds of people to Young Living and get them started with a simple starter kit of oils that gave them the basics of where to begin to implement essential oils into a daily routine, whether it was for a particular health concern, if they were dealing with something like I was, that was just very specific to skin or allergies or whatever, or if it's just an overarching need and desire to live a more clean lifestyle. I've been able to introduce hundreds of people, and then in turn, those hundreds of people have also introduced more hundreds of people. So our little community that started with just me ordering a box of oils has grown to multiple thousands of people across the world. I am so honored to have people, a large contingency of customers in Mexico, in Malaysia, in Germany, as well as here in the United States, because Young Living has built into it this incredible opportunity to actually earn an income and be rewarded for your sharing. It's been a beautiful journey. It is now, in my opinion, it is simpler than ever to help people get started with earning an income and also helping people to get started with essential oils in the first place. The Make a Shift kit, which I believe Ben introduced, this is it. Mine came in the mail. It is a beautiful, just, I love how everything is in one box now. There's not multiple pieces. You open the box, and inside of this Make a Shift kit, you're going to find a diffuser. I mean, how on earth did they fit a diffuser like this into the starter kit is beyond me. It required some serious innovation. You've got your little Make a Shift booklet, which gives a great overview for beginners of just how to use all of the oils that are included in the kit. So it's like a fast start, easy way to introduce people. It's got 2 single oils. That's oils that are just one ingredient, not multiple oils that have been blended together. You've got lavender and peppermint. If you are already familiar with Young Living, you know that those are 2 must-have, like daily use almost kind of oils. They are just so multi-purpose, and everybody should have them in their arsenal. So 2 singles, lavender and peppermint. It's also got thieves oil. I mean, books upon books have been written about thieves oil alone, just with the power of its immune support, with its cleansing abilities. There's actually an entire line of thieves products that are built around this oil. So it's a beautiful and powerful blend, especially as we begin to move into the seasons of the year where it might be colder. People are more susceptible to being run down and not feeling well. Thieves is a great one to have. And then you've got your purification, which is for all things uplifting and aromatic and odor fighting and cleansing. It's refreshing. It's just beautiful. So you've got those 2 blends. And then behind that, you've got 2 roll-ons that are stress away. Who do you know that could use a little extra stress away in their life? And some deep relief. So that's going to be for your aches and pains, your muscles, you're tired, overworked, whatever, your knees, your shoulders. And then you've got your beautiful little diffuser. So it's never been simpler to introduce people that want to get started with essential oils, with aromatherapy, with a kit that just takes all of the intimidation and the guesswork out of it. Now, Young Living also has a promo code that you can share. So there's 2 ways. There's 2 things that you need to do when you are sharing Young Living with another person to get started. First, share your link. So every person, whether you are a customer or a proclaimed brand partner, and it's actually actively building a business, you have your own link that you can share, and you can find that right inside of your Young Living account. You just click on the share YL button, and there's a link there that you can copy out. So say you have a friend who wants to get started with essential oils. You can send them your link. They will be able to find this kit. It's called the Essential Solutions Kit. They will automatically be linked to you as their sponsor, the person that gave them that referral link. And then you can also share with them a product code or promo code SHAREYL, and that's going to save your friend an extra 10% on their first order. So first give them the link, then give them the promo code so that they can share an extra, get a discount. And then that person is going to be your customer because you referred them, and you're going to get a referral bonus. Now, the difference on how you earn that bonus is either if you are a customer, you will get a product credit for your referral. If you are a brand partner, meaning you have purchased the $1 business essentials kit and you have made a declaration that you want to be a brand partner, you basically just check the checkbox, then you will actually get like a paycheck. So it's not product credit, it's actually a check or a cash check, that like a digital check that comes in the mail, whichever way you prefer, paper